What's up, college football fans and Mean Green fans? Sonoy Valente here once again with a Mean Green show. Today, joined by Miles. Miles, you're back. It's been a while since we've been able to link up. I know our schedules have been kind of hit or miss, but going to kind of recap today's scrimmage. Saturday. What is the day today? August 6th.
Mhm.
And, just kind of talk about this, that, and the other. I personally wasn't there, just kind of keeping up with Reed C. Smith's as well as Brett Vito's tweets going on throughout the scrimmage and just kind of, hearing some offensive struggles, whether it be QB or maybe it's just our defense doing really great with Tom Trebe, being a freak athlete and
Yeah.
the secondary getting a lot of interceptions and so on and so forth. So again, based off of what I saw via Twitter, it sounded like the defense had a really strong showing, and hopefully that's just credit to how good and improved the defense is, and not so much lack thereof on the offensive side. And again, you kind of folk are just stats, right? I mean, it doesn't look good, but again, I wasn't there, so we'll hear your perspective on it. How many of those picks were QB errors, or was it, just being on the wrong page with the receiver and this, that, and whatever? But anyway, Miles, just kind of, and obviously we'll talk about the quarterback situation right here at the end of this video, because that's something that maybe our minds have changed. I don't know.
The people want to hear what
Yeah,
the quarterbacks.
yeah. So anyway, Miles, what did you see today? And just kind of fill us in.
I mean, well, offensively, it looked like it took some time just to be able to kind of not. I mean, like it's kind of cliche to say wake up in football. I mean, they're all woken up, of course, but it's just they took some time just to get struggle. They struggled a lot in the early periods. The defense looked great. I mean, you have the front four with Rod Brown and Tom Tribe. Dude, that dude's he's a freak athlete. He's massive too. I mean, Coach Bennett and that defense got a steal from I don't remember what JUCO he came from. Do you remember? It was
He was up
New
north.
Mexico. Oh, the New Mexico was another guy. I know. I know.
Yeah, that was Mason Richardson.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I mean, he is huge. They have a great. I think the replacement for the Murphy twins. The Murphy twins are great. They're
Mm-hmm.
freak athletes, but I think this is going to help us even more with the system Bennett wants to run. Everybody looked defensively. They looked so much better than I anticipated. Gaddy, Logan Wilson, all these guys making big plays in the secondary. Uh, you know, it looks like running back is probably the deepest and best position on this team. There's the most talent. They have arguably the best coach on the team in Coach Cobbs, but they have guys like Oscar Attaway. He missed all of last year with his ACL tear. He looked really good. He had a cut later in the scrimmage that looked like something Jeff Wilson did against Army in 2016, where he was cutting through Army. I mean, it was a really, really good possession, that offensive drive for the offense. And, of course, everyone wants to talk about the quarterbacks. Ani ran with the first team most of the time. Gunnell, is that how you say that? I feel like
Grant Gunnell, yeah, I believe that's right. Gunnell.
I kept on thinking someone else said Gunnell earlier, and I kept on getting that in my head. But he was running with ones and twos, not as much really ones, but and not consistent is the word I have for the quarterbacks. But offensively, they have the talent. On the offensive line, receivers, they're really deep at receiver. They have two guys coming back on the offensive line that were huge last year, Daisy Carroll and Manasseh Mose. So realistically, this offense should be top in the conference besides UTSA. This offense is really, really good, but you have to have a quarterback that can actually throw the ball and be consistent with his passes. And today it didn't look like it, but at the same time, you have to give credit to the defense. They played really well, very, very physical up front, collapsed in the pocket very, very quickly. Ani didn't have a lot of time to throw, and when he did he had some bad throws, but you have to give credit to the defense. Phil Bennett has those guys fired up every single play, but also, I mean, it's really exciting watching these running backs. They're really, really fun to watch. And I feel like with the inconsistency the quarterback position has had, pushing more of a run game offensively should be what we should do next year, mainly against teams like SMU and Memphis that are very physical on the outside. They got a lot of Power 5 transfers on the outsides at cornerback. I feel like that's what we have to do, and then they played very well. But that first test against UTEP can be huge. I really think the defense is ready. I'm not ready. Defense is more prepared than the offense. But it's the first scrimmage. You can't take a whole lot away from a first scrimmage. They literally have been practicing for
Like 6
about
practices, maybe. I don't know.
about a week. I think they
Yeah.
started last Friday. Yeah, they started last Friday. That was their first official practice. So you can't take a whole lot away from this, but at the same time, I feel like they have the talent there. They just have to execute, and they're not executing offensively as much as they should be. And I can't believe it's taken 3 years just to find a replacement for Mason.
I had to slip that in there. All right.
I love Mason Fine so much. I had to say that.
Okay, so kind of moving over to quarterback specific. So I've, kind of been beating the drum on go with Ani. Just we've done this dance. Going on year 3 potentially. If they do it again, as far as musical chairs with the quarterback. So I've been saying go with Ani. He's the minor slayer. He's 2-0 against UTEP. This, that, and the other, and but again, just my observation of the day was just reading tweets, right? But man, the tweets were not favorable towards Ani, and I don't know, man. I mean, it kind of has me thinking like, okay, I guess is it fully another battle again? Is it now truly a is North Texas back into another quarterback battle, in your opinion, after today's scrimmage? And if so, who do you think is going to win out that job come UTEP?
I mean, honestly, looking at it, it should not be a battle. But, I mean, really, Ani should have this job by now. If you really look at it last year and you're thinking and going into next year, Ani should have this job locked down for sure. But I don't think he does. I mean, Latrell might say, he's our starter. He's our starter. Well, he can be the starter for right now. That's what he said last year. I even have a quote from him last year. It said, Ani's our guy for right now. Or not, I don't know if he said for right now, but Ani's our guy, And what happens come week 1? Ruder rolls out in the field. So it's going to be a battle because they don't have the consistency. And maybe Gunnell needs more snaps here in fall camp. He wasn't here in the spring. He wasn't here in the spring, correct?
No, he was not.
He was not. He committed in like February or March. And I know he had to finish his stuff over at Memphis, but he didn't have a full spring. I feel like if he had a full spring, and I feel like this is an excuse I've made for the past few years. He didn't have a full spring, no full camp. But I feel like we're going to see prevail of what Ani should be doing, just because he has the composure. He's played in the big environment at Memphis and Arizona. I mean, it wasn't not like they're playing in front of big crowds, but he's played in a bigger atmosphere with the quarterbacks and the overall team and winning than Ani has, and I feel like he's just more consistent. But also, it's just been 1 week. Mm-hmm. There's I think there's 2 more weeks of fall camp left, and then our first game. So, I'm gonna try to make it a practice or 2, but it's crucial. They have to find something. I mean, we have the talent receiver. You can't waste his talent again with like Jamori Macklin. He's one of our most talented. He's probably one of the most talented receivers in the conference. Jair Shorter, Tommy Bush. I don't know how 100% they are, but they're really, really talented. They're one of the top receivers in the conference. So, you have the right weapons. They can't hit them. The offense had 3 turnovers in the scrimmage today, and 2 of them were from first team. That's not good. And I'm not 100% sure first team was going against first team defense. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure they went against second team. But still, that's not what you want to hear coming out of the first week. But it also, then again, it's the first week.
Right. Okay, so yeah, one thing to keep in mind about Gunnell is, and I kind of forget this too from time to time, but as a freshman, he did pretty well in the Pac-12, and that's a high level of football. So we'll see. He has that pedigree behind him, but judging off of not so much statistics as interceptions and stuff like that, but who out of the QBs who looked, if the game was tomorrow at UTEP, who would you want, just based off of what you saw today, who looked the most ready?
That's really tough because nobody looked ready. But, even with the 2 turnovers that he had, I would still say Ani for right now, just because I feel like he knows the playbook better. Mm-hmm. I just feel like he would. I don't know. It's really hard to explain because I don't think he is, but I also don't think Ganell's ready as well. I mean, they looked decent today, but still, it's not like I'm not overly confident in them going out there tomorrow and absolutely dominating against UTEP has a pretty good defense. I mean, they're not bad defensively, so I would say Ani for right now, but that will definitely change come next week. Just when I think Ganell gets more stuff. First week of fall camp, I think he gets more things going, gets more consistency, gets more practice reps with the guys. I think it'll be easier to compare and contrast who's better. Right now, I'm saying Ani, but it's by the thinnest margin of the history of quarterback comparison.
All right, so just to be crystal clear here, I mean, this is Ani's kind of going into year 3 as co-starter, starter, or whatever, year 4 or 5 with a program, and you're telling me it's neck and neck with a guy who's been there for 6 practices.
Yeah, I would say so, and that's not good to say. That's a sign that there is something wrong in the development part of the coaching. I mean, like, there's no way. I mean, unless he is. But here's the thing: he's Ani's a great guy. He's a great leader. But I don't know. I honestly could not tell you what the problem is. I couldn't tell you because I'm not in his head. I don't know. But there has to be something that's making this happen because Mason Fine was ready week 1 when he were all out there against SMU.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. But we'll find out next week. I think next week we'll get I'll get a more clear view. I'll say something next week. We can get things going week to week now.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're back in the saddle, baby.
We're back. I'm glad. I'm so excited. And I just booked my tickets and all that to El Paso, so I'll be there 5 rows up on the 40 behind our bench.
That's exciting.
UTEP. So I don't know, but I really, really think this team can win 9 to 10 games, but it relies on the quarterback. Defense is good, but I don't think they're gonna shut out teams.
Yeah, but
they're good enough to win 7 to 8 games. But you have to have a quarterback. That's the reason why we lost some games last year. Didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, true.
Especially against SMU.
Yeah. Well, alrighty, guys. If you've stuck with us till the end of this video, drop us a comment down below. Who do you think is going to be the starter week 0 for UNT, Ani or Ganell or someone else? We'd love to hear from you. All right, Miles. Well, thanks for jumping on, and we'll talk again soon. Go Mean Green.
Go Mean Green.